platform which we offer to our customers, these are essentially catering to two large needs of businesses. One is around expense management and employee reimbursements. So this is one bucket or category where we see a tremendous amount of growth. There's a lot of demand, especially given these times. It's very surprising that, we are seeing a lot of interest in businesses and even enterprise customers, but also a lot of SMEs who want to start tracking their costs a lot more granularly, because a lot of the employees are working from home, right? When you are working in an office, you got 50 employees, 100 employees, 500 employees. It's much easier to be able to ask everybody to submit their claims, etc., in person. But once people start working from home, obviously they continue to incur expenses. The nature of expenses could be different. Today, the number one category that we see expenses being incurred is around internet costs, right? So employees are asking and companies are reimbursing them for internet costs. But those need to be reimbursed, right? So we're seeing a lot of uptake there. The other manifestation of our platform is around recognition, performance management, and rewards. So that's catering to the needs of businesses and companies where they want to make sure that their employees are motivated, their employees are recognized for work. Again, becomes very, very relevant in these tough times. You want to be able to recognize your performers, recognize people who are working hard for the company. And again, becomes that much more difficult in a remote scenario, right? If you have everybody working in a single office, somebody does a great job, hopefully the business head or whosoever just calls everybody in, huddles in and says, look, Diksha did a great job, she's done a phenomenal job. And, that's recognition, which is really, really nice. But in these kind of remote working environments, you want to be able to recognize the person for her performance, but now you need to do it digitally. Consumers are, in our case, typically linked to a business. It could be employees of a company, it could be channel partners of a company, or it could be consumers of, say, a FMCG company, right? So any of these three categories are typically how we see traction coming in. Of course, there is some organic traffic that comes onto our website as well, onto our app as well, but as a B2B2C company, as a B2B company, we don't necessarily go and directly solicit users per se, right? So these are the ways in which we get consumers, and once they come onto our platform, they obviously engage with us both through the mobile app as well as the website for various benefits that they get. For example, on the expense management platform on the app, they're able to use things like optical character recognition, which allows basically for them to digitally submit their bills, right? So let's say you have a bill which you need to be able to submit today. The OCR reads the bill, populates the fields in the expense management app, and you're able to directly submit it, right? So you, as a user, you engage with the platform through the app as well as the website. Same with the merchants. The merchants are partners who either give value deals to customers, who offer something specific to customers, or have a very unique sort of a program that they want to run, want us to run for in terms of loyalty, and those kind of solutions that we create for them. They again engage with us on either the merchant app as well as the online portal. The business model, it's a SaaS business model, right? Very simply put, we know that these are users who are going to be engaged with us on the platform for a significant amount of time. There is repeat, and that repeat essentially allows us to charge a certain amount of fee on a monthly basis to these businesses and the corporates. So that's how we generate our revenues primarily. Of course, we have other transactional income as well that comes in. So every time you transact, we get a certain amount of fees there as well. But the large part, our focus is around our SaaS revenue. Here, when I say customers, I mean the businesses and corporates and SME businesses, because employees automatically come through these, employees of these companies, right? Employees or channel partners of these companies. So our strategy to acquire customers is very simple. We reach out to these customers through various digital channels. We have a very strong digital marketing team. And we engage with users to highlight the value that we bring in terms of our solution. The whole idea is that if the value is communicated very clearly to the business or the decision makers, it becomes that much more easier for companies to make a decision. For example, on our expense management platform, we're easily able to demonstrate that there's so much of savings that companies are able to make, not just in terms of money, but also in terms of time. Employees spend a lot of time trying to submit their claims, and if your claims are not submitted on time, which happens quite a lot with a lot of employees, especially the millennials, you then have a dissonance that kicks in. That मैंने तो खर्चा किया था, company के लिए किया था, but I never got reimbursed for it. Right? And from a company perspective, the company says, I can't keep this expense hanging for 6 months. You need to submit your claims within a couple of months. Now, the reason why employees don't submit it in a couple of months is because the submission process is so cumbersome. Right? The paper form of submission is so cumbersome currently that's used by a lot of companies still. So that is where we kick in and we digitize that whole experience. Make it fun, make it easy, make it something that employees are comfortable with today, using the mobile app, using the digital platform. So that's how we engage with our users and customers. With regards to merchants, again, there's a very specific value prop. Merchants are looking in this tough times, COVID times, they're looking for somebody who can bring real value to them. So there are a lot of solutions that we're doing around loyalty, gift cards, where they get a captive audience in bulk, right? So if you're able to, as a merchant, get aggregated demand comes to you, that's like gold today, right? Because then you're only having to service this audience, and because there is excess supply today. Everybody, whether you talk of any industry, right? I mean, the auto industry, for example, I just read a couple of days ago was the first time in the history of Maruti that Maruti sold 0 cars in April, right? So it's very obvious that demand is plummeted down, and anybody who can bring aggregated demand is really, really sought after by merchants. Quite a lot over the years. We've focused in the initial years, our focus was a lot around testing the market, trying to understand what works, what doesn't work. So we actually tried quite a few solutions. Some of the things didn't work, but they were great learning experiences for us, right? How does it really work in an Indian environment? How does the Indian consumer perceive things? And over the course, we've actually seen, that our ability to be able to grow is a function of multiple things. Of course, external environment has become a very big factor now. But over the last 8 years, we've also seen that how much value are you able to create for the consumer and the corporate and the merchant, of course, and how you're able to communicate that, right? So it's one thing to create value, but the other thing is to actually communicate that in an effective manner. As long as you're able to do these two things, growth has never been that much of a challenge for us. And we've grown pretty well. I mean, we've probably grown 2x 3 years ago, then 3x last year. Then this year we have again grown handsomely. We've also turned EBITDA positive last financial year. It's a big milestone for a lot of growth stage companies. So our focus in the last 18 to 24 months was to turn our business in such a way, turn the business around in such a way that we are able to focus on our path to profitability. So being EBITDA positive was a big, big thing for us in terms of what we aimed and what we were able to get to. Basic differentiation that I would highlight here is that there's very little actually companies who are looking at it from a B2B perspective, where they're encompassing, the entire cycle that an employee goes through, right? So if you look at it, think of it from an employee's perspective. If he or she is told that, look, this is your rewards application. So as an employer, I'm asking you to download this application for your rewards. Okay. Then there's one more for recognition. Then there's one more for your reimbursements. Then there's a fourth one for your expense management. There's a lot of fatigue when it comes to downloading apps in employees, right? And employees really don't want to have to download too many apps. This is true for all of us. Same goes with portals and links, and if I have to click in different places to be able to get access to services that my employer is providing me, it is quite cumbersome. Different passwords, different logins. It can be quite a pain. What we offer is an integrated experience, both on the web as well as on the app. You have a single sign-on. You're able to access all these solutions in a single environment. And that makes a huge difference in ease of use for an employee, right? And once the employees are seeing that, this works well for me, this is easy for me, the businesses obviously stand to benefit. So if the success of any platform of this kind, SaaS-based platform especially, lies largely on the usage of the platform by the users, right? So think of it in expense management. If nobody is submitting their claims online, right, on the platform is flopped. The success of the platform only lies when everybody, or at least a large number of employees, start to submit all their claims online, right, on the platform, and that's when the employer knows that this platform has been a success. We have a whole host of customers, a lot of companies which are MNCs, a lot of companies which are like Tata Steel is a customer. We've got a lot of IT companies like Infosys, Persistent Systems, Microsoft. We have Kohler. We have got a whole host of companies across industries. We have also seen a lot of traction in the last 6-8 months from SMEs, and we are seeing a lot of keenness and interest from SMEs to engage with us on these platforms and use these platforms. So that's something which is very heartening, because we believe that the India growth story is going to be driven by the SMEs, along with the consumer, of course. But from a business perspective, it's going to be more SMEs, more and more. I think that's something which is very good to see the traction coming in from that segment as well. Traditionally, we've always been very strong on corporates. So both MNCs and Indian corporates, we have had a very strong base there across industries. ITS obviously is a very large one, but a lot of pharma companies, a lot of BFSI companies, a lot of banks, a lot of insurance companies have always taken, taken our platform solutions and deployed them both for their employees as well as for their channel partners. So their dealer, distributor, agent network uses our platform. The digital payment industry has got a boost primarily because you're seeing that a lot of engagement that's happening, right, is very clearly now in a manner where people don't want to, touch notes. I was watching a video where somebody claimed that, one of the biggest, problems with notes is that they just, switch hands, and, people's hands may not be clean, and all the germs keep carrying through. So a lot of people today prefer not to have to pay through notes if they can avoid, right? And that single sentiment has led to a tremendous uptake in digital. We have seen a lot of uptake, especially in our virtual solutions. We've seen a lot of traction on both our mobile cards as well as virtual cards, almost a 300% plus growth there. And it's growing day on day, literally, right? And I honestly believe that the trend, some of these behavior changes are here to stay. These trends are going to carry on because as before we started the interview, as you also mentioned rightly, that it's not going to go away, tomorrow, right? This is something which is going to take time, and I don't see, for example, airline traffic. I was talking to somebody and they said, look, airline industry guys are now saying 2023 is the earliest that they see demand, matching the 2019 levels. So it's that bad. I mean, and the others who are not industry guys are saying it's probably 2025, right? So it's a black swan event. It's something that nobody actually planned for. So in that sense, it's helped people's behavior change. Behavior change is the toughest, as I guess you would know, right? People's behaviors are very tough to change, and these kind of sort of events force people to change. So that way, digital payments has benefited. Objective in this kind of a scenario is always to take care of your team, right? Because if your team is taken care of, then they're going to take care of your customers, they're going to take care of your merchants. So one of the things that we did, we were probably the earliest to do this, and we've seen a lot of our customers follow actually. Right at the beginning in March, we announced a COVID bonus. So every employee in Zaggle got a 10,000 rupee bonus from the company, just to be able to take care of their various needs that would crop up, unanticipated needs. That had a very, very strong positive impact on the morale of employees. I mean, it was something that nobody had asked for. It was something that our founder and chairman Raj, he mentioned to me that, look, this is something that we have to do something to take care of our employees. And I wholeheartedly agreed, obviously, because it made perfect sense. But the fact that we thought of it, and we thought of it first, and we implemented it early, helped us take care of our employees in a good way. And we've seen then a lot of ideas, a lot of innovation come in from employees itself as to how do we cater to the customers. So our uptake in terms of virtual cards, etc., was largely driven by ideation from both the business development team as well as our product team. Right? So they got together themselves, they created a model, they created a use case, which got tremendous traction. So those are the kind of things that we are seeing happen organically. We are also seeing a lot of demand come in from merchants and other fintech companies to create gift card and loyalty solutions. Because in these tough times, merchants are looking for ways and means to manage their cash flow. So gift cards are a very good means of managing cash flow, because you get paid before, and then as a merchant, from a merchant's perspective, you get paid before, and then at a later date there is a redemption. Right? Same with loyalty programs. Once you have somebody enrolled on a loyalty program, although the merchant ends up paying some money, but through that he is able to capture basically information of the end user, right? Which allows the merchant, if you do it in a nice way, you're then able to engage with this customer, build a relationship with the user rather than just a transaction with the user. And now in these tough times, every merchant is looking for ways and means in which I am able to engage and build a relationship with my users so that I can get them to come back, because demand is collapsed. So whosoever has had a come to your shop online or offline, you want to be able to retain that customer and build a rapport with that customer and grow your business with them. So those are kind of things that we've been doing, and we're seeing a lot of innovative solutions that our team is coming out with. That's changed quite a lot post COVID, to be honest. But fundamentally, the India growth story remains. The need of SMEs around the world, not just India, the need to digitize remains. In fact, COVID has pushed digitization very rapidly. So if you look at how digitization was going, if it was going at a pace of X, COVID has really taken it to 2X, right? And that's going to stay. So we are overall bullish in the medium to long term. Short term, of course, you need to conserve cash. You need to make sure that you're taking care of your employees, but at the same time, you don't you want to take care of them for an extended period of time, right? And service your customers well as well. So short term, it is the strategy is as the WhatsApp groups are active to say, get through this year unscathed. We still hope to at least grow at a reasonable pace while we maintain our EBITDA positive status. But overall, I think in the next 2 to 3 years, you'd see Zaggle as a company grow probably 5x. But that's going to take that 3-year window. It's the next 12 months are going to be a little bit of see how things go, read the markets, read the demand, and then try and adjust accordingly.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.